Today we're going to be looking at the rather beautiful Tape J-37 from Arturia, as well as a couple of freebies, including Augmented Mallets Play and Pure Plate Reverb. Let's dive in. This video is sponsored by DistroKid. Follow the VIP link in the description down below to get 7% off an already amazing price to distribute your music to the world. Augmented Mallets Play is a free gift from Arturia until January the 2nd. And rather than explain each of the controls we can see on the screen here, I'm going to play a simple riff using one of the presets, Ploppy Marimba. And as I adjust each of these controls, I encourage you to use your ears and listen for the effect that it's having. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Augmented series, essentially what they do with these instruments is take a traditional acoustic instrument and then they blend it with synthesized sounds. But rather than just sort of mix those two things together with a mix control, you see there's this morph control here. And under the hood, it's taking the various parameters which are controlling those two sort of underlying instruments and blending them together using the parameters controlling those instruments. That's a roundabout way of explaining it anyway. Now, I'm expecting to see very soon a full version of this. And with the full version, you'll generally see an advanced button somewhere up here. And that will give you much greater control under the hood in terms of what's actually happening with the blending of these instruments. So definitely look out for that. But just in case you think this is all you're getting with this free version, this Ploppy Marimba, in fact there's a whole bunch of presets that you're getting for free. I've chosen just 3 or 4 of them just to give you a sense of the variation in sounds that you're going to get. So let's try this one, Hypnotic Drone. Cool. Now let's try Dark Swell. Completely different again, hey? And finally, let's have a listen to Lost in Echo. I love the edginess of that one. Follow the link in the description down below to get this for free before January the 2nd. So I've taken my mallets and added in some strings in order to demonstrate this new plugin to you, the Tape J-37 from Arturia. This is based upon the famous Studer J-37 tape machine. And again, with this plugin, we're going to do an awful lot of listening, but I will quickly explain the controls that we can see at the bottom bottom here. First of all, we can swap out different types of tape, and each type of tape has a different kind of character to it, so listen out for that. Then we have the modern button, which removes the tape's natural high and low filters. Over on the right, we have some control over the tape speed. A lower speed here, 7.5, will give a more kind of lo-fi quality to the sound. And then we have some transport controls. You'll be able to hear exactly what they do in a moment. Finally, in the center, we have the drive control. And this is where we push the signal and get more saturation and distortion. And this can go from being pleasant to really nicely broken up and edgy. So have a listen for that as well. In fact, let's start off with that control. No prizes for guessing what the stop button does there. Okay, so these are the types of controls we often see on these tape emulations, but Arturia always like to give you some extras, perhaps something that wasn't on the original hardware, and we usually get to that with their plugins by clicking on the advanced button. So I'm going to click on that now, and it reveals some different panels here. First of all, the EQ is pretty straightforward. You're going to hear me adjust this in a moment, but there's three different important modes for this. We've got pre, so that's controlling or EQing the signal before it hits the tape machine. Then we've got the post mode, which is adjusting or EQing the signal after the tape saturation and distortion has been added. And then finally we get this one, the emphasis control. And essentially when we boost frequencies with the emphasis EQ, that's going to cause those frequencies to get more saturation and distortion. So there's a different type of use there for the emphasis mode. Now the other two panels, well, I'm not going to explain them too much. We're just going to use them and you'll be able to hear what's happening with them. So let's start off with that EQ. So I really enjoy what's happening there, especially with the instability, which adds that bit of sort of tape warble. Is that the word for it? And I love the delay loop controls here. This is really interesting. You don't always see this on these tape emulations. Check out the link in the description down below for tape J-37. Now, before we take a look at our final free plugin, I'd like to take a moment to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and to thank you so much for all of your support. For those people who view, those people who like, subscribe, and especially those people who comment, I can't thank you enough. I'd also like to thank our sponsor DistroKid, and don't forget, if you follow their VIP link in the description down below, you will get 7% off of your first year of membership. Now, let's look at that free plugin. It's amazing to me that Pure Plate Reverb from Universal Audio is free until Christmas Eve, that is. And the reason it's amazing to me is because I use this plugin all the time on my productions. I love the sound of it, and as you'll see in a moment, it's really quick and easy to dial in some settings and get going with it. You're going to see me use it on both acoustic guitar and vocal, and you'll see me using the low cut feature here to get rid of some of the mud in the reverb. You'll see me using pre-delay to separate the original source from the reverb in terms of time. You'll also see me adjust the size of the reverb by using this reverb time feature. I'll either use these buttons here or I'll use this little control over here for it. You'll probably see me add in a little bit of treble to add a little bit of sparkle and airiness to the reverb, and you'll also see me use the balance control again to slightly separate the original source from the reverb. So let's switch over to adjusting both our acoustic guitar and our vocals now.
Was it the touch of my hand? Was it the way that I stand too close and that kept you running? Was it the fear of my touch? Was I too near you too much too soon that kept you running?
I hope that you enjoy these plugins as much as I have. Don't forget to follow the links for them in the description down below. I'm Mike. I hope you're well, and I'll see you in the next video.